Welcome to Arcade Anarchy. Hello and welcome to the first episode of Arcade Anarchy. We have 16 bots all based around your favourite video games of the past. We have cars, creatures, guns and even a ship wheel ready to fight it out in a 16-bot single elimination tournament in this beautiful disused arcade. In this episode we'll be having all 8 first round fights, including the front hinge lifter of Coconut Mold versus the overhead spinner of Mental Torture, the horizontal spinner of Sniper versus the hammer of Shock Off, Dig Dug versus the Red Eyes Black Dragon, the lifting drum spinner of Splatoon versus the horizontal spinner of Robert, the horizontal power of Sans Undertale versus the vertical spinner of the Charming Magician, Overseer versus Deep Claw, the Clusterbot and Elysian Tail versus the Lost Bounty, and Bananasaurus Rex versus Mining for Diamonds, but you will do instead. First up, we have the lifter of Coconut Mold versus the overhead horizontal spinner of Mental Torture. Mental Torture. Overhead spinner. Themed after the Mental Torture level in Geometry Dash, this overhead horizontal spinner from Cat Chassis sports a 250 mph tip speed with a 15 kilo weapon. The A28-150 drive may let it down against the lifter. It is going to have to drive very, very hard in order to get good hits in and stop Coconut Mold from taking whatever angle it decides to attack from. Coconut Mold Lifter. Team Depression Wheel's robot Coconut Mold is a four-wheel drive front hinge lifter based on a cart from Mario Kart. Sporting a Hardox wedge and four-wheel brushless drive, it'll be looking to push Mental Torture all around the arena and take away any semblance of control it can muster.
3, 2, 1, go.
And this is your first fight of the tournament, and straight away Coconut Mold all the way under Mental Torture and just slamming it into the wall, taking it across the arena here, and a big slam, a big flip again. Right now Coconut Mold is just taking control of Mental Torture, although lands back on the wedge of Mental Torture, and Mental Torture gets underneath this time, just juggling Coconut Mold, just bouncing it up in the air off that big overhead horizontal spinner. Coconut Mold self-rights, but still, Mental Torture is still able to get underneath and deal a little bit of damage. You can see the wheel of the Coconut Mold just rolling around there as Coconut Mold just slams it back into the wall as Mental Torture thought it was getting the upper hand, and it is again. Again, more parts of Coconut Mold coming off there as we just do a little bit of a wedge dance. And go straight back into Mental Torture on the attack again. And Coconut Mold struggling to self-right. Pinned against the corner by Mental Torture again. And again, the wedges interlocking a little. Neither of them quite getting a unanimous win on the wedge game. As Coconut Mold again just slamming Mental Torture into the wall and just flipping it over. Can Mental Torture self-right? It does, but gets again slammed by Coconut Mold as it's just an unrelenting attack, but Mental Torture getting the better of that wedge exchange, just getting underneath, palming it up in the air, and Coconut Mold seems to be just parked on the wedge. They release, we are fine. Mental Torture again on the attack, getting underneath. Mental Torture, of course, does need to get underneath in order to do damage, but gets slammed again by Coconut Mold. And obviously I say that, but both of these robots do need to get underneath the other in order to enact their game plan, as Coconut Mold is just bounced against the outer wall there, takes a nice little seat on Mental Torture. Isn't that nice of Mental Torture to offer? That wasn't nice though, that was a nice hit off the overhead spinner. And has the bar stopped? I think the bar is jammed against the lifter of Coconut Mold, as we have a bit of a pushing match here. Mental Torture pinned against the wall of the arena here. Mental Torture tries to use the Shremek. I'm not sure. Oh no, that's the lifter of Coconut Mold, sorry. As Coconut Mold is pinned against the wall in exchange. And that is your match. And we will be going to the judges in your first match of the tournament. That was a very back and forth match. Both robots had a lot of control, a lot of aggression, and both had a fair bit of impact as well. I'll be curious to see how the three judges come out on this one, because this is very, very close to start off our tournament with. And the judges' scores have been submitted. In a unanimous decision, the winner moving on to the next round is Coconut Mold. Next up is the lifting vertical drum spinner of Splatoon versus the overhead horizontal spinner of Robert.
Splatoon. Lifting drum spinner.
Splatoon from Min sports a lifting drum spinner styled after the paint roller weapon from Splatoon 2. It spins at 200 miles an hour, weighing in at 15 kilos. It also sports 4-wheel brushless drive and a 12mm Hardox plow to get underneath all of those nice little weak spots.
Robert. Horizontal spinner.
Robert is a horizontal spinner from Phalanx, styled after the robotic operating buddy from the Nintendo Entertainment System. It has a 40 kilo weapon spinning at 230 miles an hour, but also has less powerful drive than Splatoon, so it's going to have to drive very, very well to get to anything that isn't the big plow on the front.
3, 2, 1, go.
And we're away with our second fight, and Splatoon straight underneath the side of Robert there. Can't quite get that weapon to bite. Coming in for a different angle. And oh! A huge shot from Splatoon, taking pieces out everywhere. Robert coming in, only getting the wedge. I think that Robert is going to struggle here. It does look like Splatoon is low enough to just completely avoid that 40 kilo weapon. So it's going to have to play the wedge game to do any damage, as Splatoon again comes in and just launches it into the wall. Robert definitely looking in trouble here, as it gets flipped over, self-rights. It is coming in a lot to attack Splatoon, but it's just not coming in on top at all. Splatoon again, bouncing Robert around. And Robert in trouble again in the corner, but no, back on the attack. I must say I do love the little rotating head on the top of Robert. It gives it so much character, but it's not going to help it against that big drum spinner. Just grinding away at the sides, and the lifter does come into play. Just keeping Robert completely off balance. Comes in again round to the sides. And that does not look good for Robert. Something is on fire. It appears to be the weapon. The weapon appears to be dead. Splatoon wedging it up on the wall. And a count has started for Robert. 3, 2, 1. And your winner in the first knockout of the tournament is Splatoon. It was getting underneath on every interaction, and just the amount of parts that were coming off Robert. I feel sorry for the guy. It's such a cute little robot, and I really wanted it to do well, but it just could not pull it off against the driving prowess of Splatoon. See here, it was just keeping Robert completely off balance the entire time, made it very difficult to get any offense in. And with that knockout victory, Splatoon moves on to the second round. Next up is the vertical spinner of the Charming Magician versus the horizontal power of Sans Undertale.
Charming Magician. Vertical spinner.
The Charming Magician is a vertical spinner from Midnight Crow, based on Dementio, the final boss of Super Paper Mario. It has a 20-kilo weapon spinning at 250 miles an hour, with two-wheel TP100 drive to keep it face on to the opponent and keep dishing out the hits with that vertical spinner.
Sans Undertale. Horizontal spinner.
Sans Undertale is a four-wheel drive horizontal spinner from Primal, based on Sans, the final boss in Undertale. Sporting a 220 mile an hour tip speed with a weapon weight of 23 kilos. It does lose out on the drive power versus the Charming Magician, but the four-wheel drive may give it the traction and maneuverability to get anywhere that the Charming Magician doesn't want to be hit.
3, 2, 1, go.
And here we go with your third fight, Sans immediately getting the better there, but Charming Magician coming back with a flurry of hits. It is not going to let Sans get away that easy as it gets round to the side, trying to take out those wheels, and both bots just flying away as they come towards in the middle. But again, Charming Magician getting the better of Sans at the moment. As Sans might be stuck on the wall here. No, falls down. Again, both robots just launching each other away. But again, it is Charming Magician getting under Sans, and that wedge really paying off against the big horizontal spinner. And Charming Magician may be in trouble here, gets flipped back over. And again, we continue as just a full-on slugging match, as both robots attacking straight weapon-to-weapon hits. And Charming Magician may be stuck in the corner a little bit here. It's a little bit uneven. And Sans, I think, Charming Magician I think has only got one piece of tyre left. This could be looking bad for the Magician. You don't want to be there against Sans, as Sans looking to get that last piece of wheel. Can it get it? Charming Magician at a really bad angle for Sans to get any attack in right now. It's blocking it with that big decorative piece on the top. But at the moment, it is all Sans. As soon as that left side of drive was taken off the Charming Magician, it has been all Sans here. Now Charming Magician inverted again. Still has traction, just about. But at this point, Sans just has to get that last piece. It is trying so hard to get it. But Charming Magician's smoking there. Has it died? I think that is the last piece of wheel that has been taken off Charming Magician. Sans just having a little bit of fun with it before the count begins. But I feel like the counting is just academic at this point. Charming Magician with no wheels left, no drive. It is just a smoking pile. And Sans will go through to the next fight. As we get a little bit of replay here. Again, this was all just big weapon-to-weapon hits. And there, Charming Magician looked like it was going to get a big hit in, but just got taken out by the spinning bar on the decorative piece. And this was where it all went wrong for Charming Magician. Just taking out all of the drive and just pure decimation. And with that dominating display, Sans Undertale moves on to the second round. Our next fight is going to be all about control, as we have Bananasaurus Rex versus Mining for Diamonds, but you will do instead.
Mining for diamonds. Axe.
Mining for Diamonds, but you will do instead is a hammerbot from Mad Brit King. Themed after Minecraft's tools and logo, it sports the longest name in the competition by a long way, so we will be shortening it slightly during the commentary. Sporting both an axe and a pickaxe it can use, depending on what it feels best for each match. We'll be seeing how much damage this hammer can dish out.
Anarchy. Grab.
Bananasaurus Rex is a grabber from 4AXH, styled after the Bananasaurus Rex character in Plants vs Zombies Heroes. It sports a grabber on the front as well as a banana Shremek, looking to get under, mining for diamonds, and push it all the way around the arena, removing any control mining for diamonds can dream of.
3, 2, 1.
And here we go, both robots coming into the middle, but Bananasaurus Rex just gets under the hammer pot, but taking a bit of a beating on the top of that grabber. Releases, and now mining for diamonds taking control, still bashing away with that hammer. Although Bananasaurus seems to have just eaten the weapon of mining for diamonds, I don't think that was the plan. Again, mining for diamonds in underneath. Getting a few good shots under the grabber, and a few on the top of the head now as well. And now Bananasaurus Rex takes control again this time. A classic control versus control match. Mining for diamonds, trying to get hits in there, but just the hammer not quite reaching as far as it would like. And a little bit of a stalemate this time. These two wedges very evenly matched at this point. It is anyone's guess each time. Mining for diamonds this time, getting a bunch of quick hits in. Not doing a whole lot of damage, just sort of patting it on the head a little bit, like it's been naughty. And again, the lack of reach on the hammer coming into play there as Bananasaurus gets a good bite in. But gets the wedge reversed? No, managed to avoid getting out wedged that time. But not quite close enough for a good bite there, just holding it there for a moment. And mining for diamonds, now got the side. This is a bad sign for Bananasaurus. If mining for diamonds can get something inside that robot, this is going to be a short fight. But it doesn't. Again, just holding it there. And mining for diamonds straight back underneath. Again, not quite in the position to get the hammer into play. And Bananasaurus this time, again, swapping back and forth pins, all matched so far. And Bananasaurus, I thought it was going to release, but just enough to get a better angle there on mining for diamonds. And just holding it, just showing it can. And again, Bananasaurus straight in on the side, got a good bite on that tyre. Can it do any damage with those teeth? I'm not sure so far. But then nothing from mining for diamonds so far either, as it does have Bananasaurus pressed back against the wall. Just trying to get anything to bite on that hammer. It doesn't do it, but mining for diamonds still staying underneath. Risking a warning here. And again, mining for diamonds just straight underneath before Bananasaurus can recover from that pin there. And it just gets it straight into another one on the other wall. This is, we only have 15 seconds now, so this will be going to the judges as Bananasaurus gets a beautiful grab in. Mining for diamonds, pushing it back, trying to do a little bit more control in the last 5 seconds. And that is time. That will be going to your judges. Once again, they will be judging on impact, aggression, and control. And I must say, I feel like aggression and control are going to be the most coming into play here. A few shots there, that's where Bananasaurus managed to grab hold of the hammer. That will be definitely scoring in the judges' eyes. And some beautiful hammer hits from mining for diamonds. This was a very back and forth match, lots of control, lots of aggression. We will see what the judges have to say. And the judges have returned their scores. It has come out as a split decision in favour of mining for diamonds. I think it was all those little hammer hits that were coming in whenever Bananasaurus Rex was getting those big grabs, just racking up the damage bit by bit. Mining for diamonds goes through. Next up we have the huge horizontal spinner of Sniper versus the hammer of Shuckoff.
Sniper. Horizontal spinner.
Sniper is a horizontal spinner from Anarchy, themed after the Sniper from Risk of Rain. It sports a 240 mph tip speed and a very long reach on a asymmetrical bar. It will be looking to break through the rock-hard defense of Shuckoff and take home the win.
Shuckoff. Hammer.
Shuckoff is a hammer bot from Senpai Alex, themed after Shuckle from Pokemon Generation 2. It sports a motor energy powered hammer and is a large shuffling robot, so will have a lot of weight in order to try and absorb some of those horizontal hits coming in from Sniper.
3, 2, 1, go.
And here we go, winner of this will take on Coconut Mold. A little bit of feeling out there, Sniper not quite hitting as hard as I was expecting, but now definitely getting the better of Shuckoff. As Shuckoff just tries to get those shufflers back on the ground. Having a little trouble here. That is the issue you get with shufflers, is they can cause a bit of chaos. And speaking of chaos, Sniper just picking its angles and taking those legs off of Shuckle. I hope those were ablative. And Sniper not quite getting the bite it's looking for. It is a very rounded shape on Shuckoff, of course, which could be coming in Shuckoff's advantage here, as Sniper is struggling to do the big hits. It is chipping a lot of pieces off. Not a whole lot of work coming in from that hammerhead so far. And Shuckoff might be stuck on its own debris. I think it might have lost the side of drive as this count starts, but Sniper not quite done. That is a very impressive showing from Sniper. Not many huge hits, but it does pick up the win and will be facing off with the front hinge lifter of Coconut Mold. And here it was just shredding pieces off of Shuckoff at every opportunity, getting a nice undercut there and taking off some of the feet, taking off some of the decorative legs. And you should know by now, Alex, you do not want to bring a Shuckle into competitive combat. And with that absolutely dominant display, Sniper moves on to the second round and will be facing Coconut Mold. In our sixth fight, we'll be having Dig Dug versus Red Eye's Black Dragon, with the winner moving on to fight the Drum of Splatoon.
Dig Dug. Hammer.
Dig Dug is a hammer robot from Mr. Fluff, based on the main character from the Dig Dug series of games. It made it all the way through the pre-qualifier and will be looking to carry that momentum on and do as much damage as possible with that hammer.
Red Eye's Black Dragon. Crusher.
Red Eye's Black Dragon is a crusher robot from Mr. BK, based on the Red Eye's Black Dragon card from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. It sports the fastest drive of any robot in the competition and will be looking to use that to push its opponents all the way around the arena and into as many walls as possible.
3, 2, 1, go.
And here we go with fight number 6, Red Eye's Black Dragon coming straight in and taking Dig Dug straight across the wall. Dig Dug trying to get that hammer into play, not quite in the right position to do anything to Red Eye's at the moment, as Red Eye's again coming back in right up against the wall and just staying right out of reach of Dig Dug's hammer. Lets Dig Dug collect a little bit, but right against the wall again, and Red Eye's just not giving Dig Dug a chance to respond here so far. As I take back my words, Dig Dug getting underneath there, getting a few quick shots in on the hammer. Gets Red Eye's flipped back over. And now a little bit of back and forth now. This is surprising. But as I was saying that, Red Eye's Black Dragon just taking Dig Dug straight back into the opposite corner, utilising all of that powerful drive that we spoke about. And with both robots on its wedge, just breezing across the arena and pinning Dig Dug comfortably right now. Again releasing, but Dig Dug doesn't move, so Red Eye is allowed to come back in for the pin. Holds it here, just showing its power, showing the dominance on it. As again, it just keeps it right in that corner. Dig Dug having a terrible time so far against the massive crushing power of Red Eye's Black Dragon. And again, the drive power of Red Eye's. As soon as Dig Dug starts coming out of the corner, Red Eye's is straight back on it, pushing it straight back in. But Dig Dug back underneath now. Possibly a dangerous point for Red Eye's Black Dragon. If Dig Dug could have gotten a good shot there, it could have been over. But Red Eye's able to survive. And again, back in with that big crush, holding Dig Dug against the corner. And coming back in, a little bit of a wedge lock. Both of them underneath each other here. Not a whole lot gonna happen. And Red Eye's coming back in, gets flipped over, Dig Dug flipped over, both self-white. Both of these robots very good at getting back on their wheels very quickly. But speaking of wheels, Red Eye's Black Dragon just utilising all of the power behind its wheels there and just holding on to Dig Dug and just stopping it from doing much at all in this match. Oh, a nice little flip from Dig Dug there, utilising the hammer power while Red Eyes had hold of it. Red Eyes again with control and just holding Dig Dug against any walls it can find. And again, going to the opposite goal. No, coming back to the same one. Just having a little leisurely drive, really. Quick little shot from Dig Dug, and again, and again. And that is time. We will be going once again to the judges with a lovely little shot of the two robots there. And this is some of the action from that fight for the judges to look over. A lot of pins from Red Eyes. A couple of big shots from Dig Dug as well. It will be interesting to see how the judges go in this one, but I have a feeling I know the answer. And we have a unanimous decision from the judges in favour of the Red Eye's Black Dragon. There was just so much control, so much drive power, just slamming Dig Dug across the arena so many times that Dig Dug just could not get much going. The Red Eye's Black Dragon moving on to the next round. In our 7th fight, we'll be having the horizontal spinner of Overseer versus the pneumatic flipper of Deep Claw.
Overseer. Horizontal spin. I've said spinner so many times this evening, it's starting to sound weird.
Overseer is a horizontal spinner from Soy, based on the logo of Ark Survival Evolved. It's only got a 100 mph tip speed, so it's not going to get a whole lot of kinetic energy going, but if it can get those shots in the right places, it could spell trouble for its opponent tonight.
Deep Claw. Pneumatic flipper.
Deep Claw is a pneumatic flipper from Golden, based on the machine of Octoman in F-Zero. It sports a 700 psi pneumatic flipper, so it's not going to get the biggest of flips, but if you can get a lot of small flips in the right places, it can all go your way.
3, 2, 1,
And off we go for fight number 7. Overseer getting up to speed. Deep Claw trying to get underneath, getting bashed away a little bit by that spinner. Underneath now, can we get a flip off? There we go, nice little flip from Deep Claw. As I did say, not the biggest flips from this machine, but if it can do them in just the right places, it could be a short night for Overseer. There's Deep Claw back underneath. Overseer managing to evade pretty nicely here. Overseer pushed against the wall. Ooh, are we going to see a flip? There we go, nice little flip from Deep Claw there. As it pushes Overseer up against the wall. Can it get it stuck? No, Overseer escapes. Although Overseer not doing a huge amount with that horizontal spin at the moment. It is only spinning at 100 mph, so it's not going to do a whole lot of damage. But I was expecting a little bit more, I will be honest. Because Overseer is struggling here against the wedge. Obviously it is a classic wedge versus horizontal match in this one, but there are some nice flat sides on Deep Claw. As Deep Claw gets under again, goes for another little flip. I think the slowest push across the arena we have seen all tournaments so far, but it is a push nonetheless. Deep Claw just staying on Overseer the entire time, sticking to the parts where it's not going to get damaged from interactions, as it again goes to push across. Little bit of bites from the horizontal there. Deep Claw going for another flip and another. It's getting underneath for those flips, but they're just not doing that much so far. Just sort of toppling it over gently, and against a invertible robot like Overseer, you need that big flipping power sometimes. But Deep Claw's still in control of this one so far, keeping the pressure on Overseer so it can't get away, can't get round to the angles that it wants to. Xbox just taking a minute to readjust there. Deep Claw again trying to come in, trying to get under. Toppling Overseer over. Did have Overseer stuck in the corner there, but it managed to escape. And Deep Claw back underneath, back with the flips. But I think it might be running out of gas slightly. It only just popped it up on that one. Gets under the spinner mount again. Are we going to see another flip? No, just leaving the tip of the wedge under there. Just letting Overseer know it can. And we are in the last few seconds of this fight. This one is going to be going to the judges. I have no idea what they're going to think of that. Again, they will be judging on impact, control, and aggression to determine who goes through to the next round. Here's a few of those little flips from Deep Claw. Nice little shot from Overseer there. Although it does send it wiggling, which was allowing Deep Claw to come back in, get the control, and get back underneath. And just put Overseer wherever it wanted it to be. Over to the judges. And the judges have submitted their scores. It is a unanimous decision in favour of Deep Claw. There was just so much control, so much aggression from Deep Claw that Overseer just could not get anything going for it. And the judges very much agreed in that opinion. A win for Deep Claw. And in our final match of the episode, we have the Clusterbot and Elysian Tail facing off against the ring spinner, the Lost Bounty.
An Elysian Tail. Clusterbot.
An Elysian Tail is a Clusterbot from Neon, consisting of Dust and Fidget, based on the characters from An Elysian Tail. Dust is a large blade-style hammer, and Fidget is a 190-mile-an-hour undercutter. They'll definitely be looking to take advantage of having two robots in the arena, so that one can take control while the other one is dishing out damage.
The Lost Bounty. Ring Spinner.
The Lost Bounty is a ring spinner from DGG Wolf, based on a ship wheel from Sea of Thieves. It sports a 50-kilogram spinner, spinning at 160 miles an hour at the tip, and that ring spinner will definitely be useful against these two Clusterbots, cutting off any angles they can attack from.
3, 2, 1, go!
And off we go with the last fight of the episode. The Clusters coming in super fast to try and cut off the Lost Bounty. Fidget losing up a few pieces of wheel there, but Dust coming in and just taking control again. Let go of my friend. And a lot of big shots from the hammer there as it was driving out across the arena. And Lost Bounty is again up in the air, just getting launched by the big wedge on the front of Dust. Although Fidget trying to come in, causing a bit of distraction, just allowing Dust to get underneath and a little bit of friendly fire. It is always the danger when you're running Clusters. And at the moment, the Clusters are working very well together. Fidget's going in, distracting that big ring spinner, and then Dust is just coming in for those big rams, getting a couple of big hammer shots on, although Dust stuck for a second there, sacrificing its friend, sacrificing Fidget into the spinner of the Lost Bounty. As Dust popped up in the air there, Fidget may be stuck, might have taken a lot of damage off that sacrificial shot from Dust. But Dust at the moment just keeping on top of the Lost Bounty. And is Dust stuck now as well? A count-out has begun. Do we have any movement from the Clusters? Lost Bounty not giving any chance for them to keep moving. And that is it. That is a win to the Lost Bounty. As I said in the introductions, the ring spinner able to attack both robots at once, just cutting off any opportunities to get in, and there is Dust just sacrificing Fidget. The clusters were holding up a good fight, but I think it just took out all of the wheels from the cluster and just stopped their momentum. Lost Bounty goes through. And with that knockout victory, the Lost Bounty will be moving on to the next round to face Mining for Diamonds, but you will do instead. And with all 8 first round matches in the books, we have our second round ready for the next episode. We'll be seeing Coconut Mold versus Sniper, Red Eyes Black Dragon versus Splatoon, Sans Undertale versus Deep Claw, and the Lost Bounty versus Mining for Diamonds, but you will do instead. From myself and all of the Arcade Anarchy team, thank you for watching, and we'll be back in the next episode. Good night.